Hey everybody, so we're back. We had some technical difficulties. I ended up actually streaming privately and didn't realize it. Now we're in public, so you should be able to see it. Let me know in the comments if there's any problems. And today we are talking about the Orion Nuclear Pulse Drive. This was the 1,000 subscriber request. I did a whole poll, and I probably have pulled that poll up to show you guys what I am talking about for anybody new. And we're just going to quickly open up the widget here. Go to your channel. That's my other channel, by the way, in case you're ever wondering. I do have two channels. Actually, I have four, but the other two are very small. And if we go to the community tab here, we can do some scrolling. By the way, a lot of you are looking forward to SLS, so that's cool. That's coming out Friday this weekend, sort of thing. The booster pack seems to be well taken, and if we do a bit of scrolling here, there's a bit of scrolling, we'll get to the Nuclear Pulse engine. That's the first version, and here it is. So 4 weeks ago, I've been kind of busy, but 4 weeks ago you guys said I gave you the option of an orbital launch cannon, a nuclear pulse engine, a Dyson sphere reactor, a fancy texture pack, or Egg 2.0, and overwhelmingly you guys went with the nuclear pulse engine. So what does that mean? Well, about a month later, we have it here. Now, it is part of the exotic pack, so you will need to update your pack with the exotics. And it is found in engines, and I think it's almost near the bottom. Oh, there it is. And it is a nuclear pulse engine. It is a 50-ton reactor with 5,000 tons of thrust for about 5 seconds. And ignore the efficiency of 5 ISP. Don't worry about that. But basically, yeah, it's got a little bit of a trick, because you might be looking at it saying, that's not too great. But it actually does it 5 times. So, the nuclear pulse engine, pretty simple to use it. It is on a booster concept. So, you click it, it's going to say solid rocket booster on. Yeah, I've been playing around with solid rocket boosters. And then when you hit ignition, away you go. Now, once we do this quick little demo, I'm going to finish up the modding of this, because it's obviously missing some sound. And pretty much, hopefully this is going to work as expected. I had it where the last time I did this, it blew up the entire spacecraft. So that was fun. But there you go. And you can see here that we've used up one charge down the lower left corner here. We've taken a bit of heat on the aero shield, but otherwise we're pretty good. And we are obviously not necessarily in orbit because we're going straight up, but we've managed to pretty much get into space with a single charge. Now, this mass is 188, so just shy of 200 tons. And you'll notice that despite using the despite using the plutonium, the mass doesn't actually go down. This is one of the less cheaty things on this engine, is that it is a 50-ton engine. The nuclear material using basically, I'm going to say, weighs nothing. In this particular case, it doesn't degrade like normal plutonium either, but when you use it, it doesn't drop the mass. That's the trade-off. So it is a big, heavy object to stick on the back of, say, a small rocket or anything like this, but it's designed to basically be able to give you a huge burst of speed in a very short period of time. So we click it again, it'll say solid booster on. We hit ignition, and it's going to launch again. And you can see the arrow just going absolutely insane to the side, because we were almost nowhere near orbit, and now we're almost in orbit. And if we time zoom over here, we can click it again. This is going to be the third charge. We'll rotate it like this so we're in line, and this should be enough to get us well off of Earth orbit. In fact, we should be well into escape orbit, and I have no idea, depending on what direction we're going, that might be enough. Oh, we're going towards the sun. Okay, cool. So we'll need to use one more charge. There you go. And you can see here that, we're almost to Jupiter with this setup. And if we click it one more time, away we go. And now we're definitely out of Jupiter, and we've escaped the solar system. So we'll have to play a little bit of tweaking with this, but overall, it works. Now, it is 5 charges, but there is a 6th button press. And this is what I've been working on recently. I'm not 100% sure if it works, but basically, we press it and it detaches from the vessel. And it's actually overheating right now, and it's supposed to be doing a overheating charge thing. Because if I switch to it, it's just floating. Goody. So that's what I've been trying to work on, is have this basically overheat and explode. I know that might sound a little bit dramatic, but once you're done, you don't really need to carry that extra 50 tons. So, yeah, that was supposed to explode, and it's not exploding. When things don't explode, but they're not supposed to explode. Okay. Well then, I think we'll have to go back to the modding screen, and I'll show you some of how I made this, but also try to fix that up and add some sound, because obviously we want some sound when we're pressing this. Otherwise, it kind of looks kind of boring, because you're just like, there's an arrow going across the screen. I guess I'm moving, because you know, engines should have sound. So let's escape from this, and we'll get you to the modding screen. And here we are, and I'm going to show you sort of how I made this and what part of the system I'm currently having problems with. So number one, very simple. This is an engine. I'm using the activation sequence module right here to basically, every time you do something, it steps the game elements. So there's 6 steps, each one being a booster fire, and the last one is this sort of separation thing, which for some reason isn't working, and I'm wondering why. Okay, so because it's supposed to engage this guy here, heat core overload, and the heat core overload, if we toggle it, is supposed to play a giant explosion of particles and create a heat hitbox right here. Oh, this little green box right here, although I should probably make it bigger. Say 5 by 5, that's still well within the circle. So heat box, which is supposed to overheat the engine, and in approximately 10 seconds it explodes. At least that was the idea, but it's not doing it. And there's a reason I did that small, because we can go 0, 0, 0, and we can go 1. And the reason for that is because none of this is heat rated, with the exception of the heat shield and this other box called, I just call it heat hold me heat, which is a heat shield. So it'll cause this effect to last a little longer until it actually explodes. So that's sort of what I was trying to do, but that's not working. And I'm not sure why. So I have another way of doing this, which is we can go here. We can add a move module. Yeah, move modules are absolutely amazing, and you will learn to love them. We're going to go, active. We're going to pick the, what's it called? Heat core overload. There we go. And then we're going to toggle it like this. So that will keep it off until you toggle it. And instead of doing what we did before, which was try to turn it off with this code that apparently did not turn it off, and I'm not sure why, because that should have worked. Here. No, this one here should have caused it to go overload, right? That is the overload one, but it didn't. So we're going to delete that one, and we're going to add here a move module. So we're going to go scene, move. No, it's on, it's in the, what's it called here? It's eject system. There we go. Eject system. Haha. And we're going to say move module, and we're going to activate it. And then we're going to put it at the top here. So that's going to activate and basically turn this square on. When this square turns on, it's going to then heat this bigger square that will then, when it hits 3,000 degrees, cause it to go boom. That is the plan. We'll see how it works, but as you saw earlier, everything else seems to be working, except for we also need to add some sound, because, yeah, there's no sound. So, how to add sound? Well, we're going to come over here, and we're going to find, I think it's somewhere here. Ionic has it. Nope. audio module. There we go. This is what we want. We're going to copy this audio module here. It's the UFO sound effect because, you know, it's what I got. And we're going to paste it where? Here. We'll add it to the end. I just want to make sure. Oh no, there's a sound effect here. Oh, I know why, because it's based off throttle. Right, throttle doesn't do anything in this mode. So it's actually already here, but there's throttle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so what we're actually going to do is we're going to remove this because we're going to create a new element here and go create an empty. There we go. And we're going to call this audio. And in this audio, we're going to paste this component that we copied, component new, as the audio script. And we're going to say the volume is throttle 1 because in order for this to work, I had to create a fuel, a boost, and a throttle for every single charge in the booster lineup. Yeah, that took quite some time. You'll also notice that there's heat shield 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I had to literally make 5 engines in this one engine to make it functional. So if you're wondering why doesn't this have unlimited boosts, that's why. All right, so we're going to take the heat ejection system here, audio here, and we're going to go here. And basically what we're going to do is copy this, and we're going to paste it, and we're going to paste it a couple more times, paste. And the reason we're doing this is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's because each throttle will produce sound. So paste copy as new. There we go. And then we're going to retitle this throttle 5, 4, 3, 2, and we already have 1. So this will play this sound every time the engine is engaged. So that's good. Woo! We're doing really good here. And now that should give us sound. What else did I find that I made this thing go? Okay, so in here, there should be each booster core has 2 commands. One command is here, and the other one is there. So is it doing it in the right order? So clickable makes it clickable so that it basically, you click it. Everything else is not click. Like you can't click the core, you can't click any of the struts. Oh, you can apparently click that. That's bad. And that's bad. Oh, I had that. So let's go turn that off. Do. And definitely turn that off. Okay. Can you click there? No. Okay, cool. Now it has it where it doesn't have it. Because what I don't want people to do is hit the click button and basically booster fire all the cores all at once or when it's running at the same time, because it creates a bunch of animation problems. So the idea being is it's clickable and then it turns itself off. But I need to make sure the cores are properly aligned. So this guy here is going to go to clickable core 1. Yep, clickable 1. Okay. The next one's going to go to clickable 2. The next one's going to go to clickable 3. The next one's going to go to clickable 4. And the last one's going to go to clickable 5. All right, that looks pretty good. I have it over here. We're going to build the mod, and it is part of the exotic pack. It'll be version 3. If you're wondering where version 2 was, that's the giant update where they did a whole bunch of updates, and I had to go through and fix everything. So I just scaled up everything 1 revision because, yeah, that was a lot of work. And they didn't tell us anything. They were like, no, we're not going to tell you that we're doing an update. So that was a bit of a surprise. But it does take a little while to compile, as you can see here. This is the nature of this new compiler. It does take a bit of time, and we want to go to here, which is our pack, and we're going to go to our mod builder, and we're going to paste into the pack, place the one that we had. Now note that it is Spaceflight Simulator, Spaceflight Simulator games, mods, custom apps, parts, not Spaceflight Simulator data. That's from the old version. Hopefully they'll update and get rid of it, but if it's still there, don't use it. It's old. So we're going to go back into the game and see how the nuclear pulse engine runs now that we've hopefully fixed most, if not all, the problems that currently exist. And let me know if you have any questions in the chat. I'm quite happy to answer things about this. And if you guys have any suggestions, let me know as well. And it seems to be working. Nothing crashed. I hit F1 and it's saying it's upset about something. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, you put multiple thrusters and stuff. Sometimes you get a little thruster error. It doesn't do anything bad though. All right, so we're going to turn the booster on. We're going to press it and we go up into space. And I don't hear any sound again. That's not good. All right. Press it again, and we'll just burn through. See? Maybe I have to increase the volume. So there might be a volume issue. Interesting. But we can run through the engine and then see if it burns and explodes. At least we'll do that, and then we can go back and see if we can fix that audio because it should be making noise. I'm wearing my headphones, so and then we press it again and it breaks. And if we switch to it, it's not overheating. Did I accidentally copy things backwards? Huh. It's almost like I didn't do anything. Dun dun dun. Welcome to modding. Yeah, sometimes this stuff works really well and sometimes it doesn't. So why did that not work? Did I do it on the wrong engine? That's the first thing. No, exotic. Yeah, the older engine, I made it purple so I didn't accidentally use it. So I put this in here, set up the audio, put the audio module in here with the scripts. 1, 2, 3, 4. What am I doing wrong? I know it works in the Ion engine because the Ion engine makes a little woo 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 sound. Let's see. How does the Ion engine play this music? Does it have to do anything? It just says throttle times 2. Oh, you know what? It might be just too quiet. Because when you press it, it toggles the engine, and the engine just turns on. It fires normally. There's no magic script to do that, and then that throttle goes, but it's very quiet. So I may have to put in a multiplier. Huh. Okay, and then why didn't it explode? That's the bigger question. Heat core overload. Yeah, because that should have happened. We should have seen that, and it should have gone kaboom. So, have you look here? Heat core 0. Okay, move module. Animation time was 0. We can make it like a second or something like that. Actually, I don't want to do that. That causes problems. It goes 0 to 1, and it's active, not inactive. Huh. There's an effect module that we can get rid of. Remove that. Don't need that. Eject system. Yeah, so that's the separation force. 0 here. Huh. Yeah, because I know the eject system works because that's what pops it off the bottom. And then this guy should go overheat and explode. Huh. All right, we're going to go back here and check our, we don't need this, so we can close that down here. So we have it where it activates one game object, closes the other ones, it sets the boost fire. This basically switches between the various nuclear shields because this whole section had to be repeated for every single one because you couldn't have multiple moves actually try to function the same thing. And we're going to go here and see, yeah. Okay, so there's a move function, so this activates. So this should have done it. I'll switch it to toggle. I don't activate toggle. Toggle will move it back and forth. Activate it will only move it in one direction. Then we detach, and then the game object is set. Oh, maybe we have to do it this way, detach last. Maybe, I don't know. There is, in Spaceflight Simulator, the order you do things is kind of important. It's not super duper important, but there are a couple cases where you do stuff, and if you don't do it in the right order, some things don't work. Like on the boosters, some of them have retrofire rockets in the next update. If you detach them and then hit the retrofire rockets, but in the same sort of trigger, the retrofire rockets won't go. You have to fire the retro rockets and detach, despite the fact that they seem to all appear at the exact same time. So that's interesting. All right, well, let's go and build this again and see if we can. Oh, right, I need to change the audio. The audio needs to be changed because it's too quiet. This is a giant engine. It should be making a lot of noise. So let's get that set up. We just got to wait for this to scroll through. It takes about 25 seconds, I believe. So apologies for half a minute of watching a green bar go across the screen. And we go to audio. Here we go. And we're going to go throttle, and we're going to say ×5. It's very quiet. So let's bump up the volume 5 times, and hopefully we'll hear it. Because the other engine bumps it up by 2. All right. Then we'll do this like that, and we're good to go here. Right now I seem to have it where the chat doesn't seem to be working. Huh. Oh, no, there we go. I had it on the wrong chat. Sorry. I am such a newbie when it comes to streaming. So while this is going, hello everybody. So we got Dell, we got FS Gamer, we got Joe Castro, we got Italian Gamer, we've got Nestle007, Space Games, Chalabali Kazanai. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. We got Prime 252. We got Cedric is here, and we got who else? We got Diana. There is not a flat. I'm not sure what that for. Friendly Neighborhood Alternative, and we've got who else we got here while I'm doing this? I've been completely ignoring. My apologies. I didn't have the chat apparently turned on the right way. We also have Cat's Noose, and we have a Colton Williams. So how exactly does a pulse drive work? Well, it works by basically ejecting a nuclear controlled explosion out the back of the rocket, and then it explodes after it passes through the heat shield, and the heat shield absorbs all the heat and energy and then pushes the rocket forward, which I did try very, very hard to make it work in Spaceflight Simulator, and I might add it in. The problem being is that if you don't hit something right, like center here, when you hit it off the side, it ends up causing the rocket to go in a crazy spin, and it's almost impossible to balance that out. So instead, you got these cool little cute particles coming out the bottom here. There you go. And that is our stuff coming out the bottom. I know it's not perfectly accurate and whatnot, but everything else ended up causing the rocket to basically blow up. I cannot, like the number of times I've had rockets explode doing modding and stuff like that was insane. The booster pack beat it though, because I didn't have this cool heat shield cone thing that I built. So I was blowing up everything because it was either burning up in the atmosphere, or burning up in the atmosphere, or burning up in the atmosphere, or burning up in the atmosphere. So we still don't seem to have any audio, which is odd. And I'm wondering if it's because I have the volume on the game turned down or something. No, I can hear it. Okay, so I'm gonna have to figure out the audio because that is definitely not working, and it should be working. But let's see if we can overheat and have the drive explode. I'm really hoping that will. So when you have it here, you click it, it apparently doesn't. Nothing in this thing is working today. It is just being what we like to refer to as a nit. All right, click it, and it detaches. Now, if I switch to it, it's still not overheating. Very interesting. Because that code should work, because I'm literally using the code all through the rocket. That is strange. Well, On the plus side, it does actually do what it's supposed to. We're at like 5,000 meters velocity. That's again, we just shot straight up. I'm assuming 5,000 is enough to just fly away and never come back. Yeah, there you go. So if you had to go to say Andromeda or another solar system, this could definitely get you there, and then you could drop it off, depending on how big your vessel is. But it's supposed to make a cool sound, and it's supposed to explode at the end. Those two things it must do. See here. So throttle one, pitch, volume. Oh, haha. That probably is needed. Why it doesn't have it on the other one, I don't know. Okay, so that might be it for that. So let's see if we get the sound. And again, yeah, again in modding, little tiny things like a checkbox or something like that. Hours of entertainment. uh, Thank you very much for the compliments. Yes, the SLS Pack 2 version 2 has gotten a little out of hand. The goal is that it's going to come out on Friday, but it's not just a space launch system anymore. It's now called the Alternative Launch Vehicles, or sorry, not alternative, additional launch vehicles, because if you've seen some of my recent videos, you may have noticed that I've been building some other rockets, and yeah, there's a lot now. I think we have most of the current U.S. I'll say government arsenal of rockets. So those are there. All right, so let's see if this works now. Turn it on. Nope, it's still not making the sound. Well, we can just burn the rest off. And then it explodes. Yeah, so, hmm. That is interesting. So our audio isn't working, but that's how it works on, say, the other engine. I should double check the other engine actually works. Let's do that for a second, because that's a quick test. And then we'll see if that's working. Because, yeah, it works. I'm really happy with it, but, I kind of want, at the very least, have some sound. Because otherwise, it's kind of a boring thing. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm going super fast. So we're going to increase the mass of this rocket by quite a bit, but that's okay. Because we're just going to go, and I think it's 12. 12 wide. There you go. This is, by the way, the plutonium fuel tank, if you want to use any of the other mods. And then we're going to go to, I think it's basic. I think I put it in basic. Nope, I put it in engines. Most stuff's in engines, and I have a lot of engines that I've made. And we want the green ones. All right, there we go. Tilt that sideways. We're going to stick that there. And we'll put another one here. And then we'll launch. And on. Yeah, I can hear them. I don't know if you guys can hear it because I turned down the volume on the stream because fire a rocket and it ends up blowing out people's headphones. But I can hear that. It's working. It's working without a problem. You can tell it's working because it's shaking the whole screen like crazy because it's 2,000. Each of these is 1,000 tons of thrust. So, okay, so they work. Why doesn't the NPU work? Huh. It's not. So, do the audios have to be in the main audio script? It says UFO sound effect, throttle 2. And mine says, if I go to audio, UFO sound effect, throttle 4 multiplied by 5. Hmm. Huh. Okay, well, we're going to delete this audio because it's not doing anything. And we'll copy this one here. I have an idea why this might not be working. Oh, I know what I may have messed up. So, that explains a lot. I made a boo-boo that I shouldn't have made. And that is I put numbers into the code. So if I go like this and go A, what happens in the booster code? It gets very upset very quickly. All right. So generally, you don't want to put numbers in your variable names. And the reason that you don't want to put variable numbers in your variable names is that when you're using coding that multiplies the variables, etc., I think it counts the number as a number and doesn't realize it's part of the name. I've run into this problem before, so I just deleted the audio thing and I shouldn't have done that. So let's see. Let's test my theory. Audio is still there. Okay. So we're going to go through here and in all the booster cores, we're going to turn throttle off. Even we're doing this, and we got to turn throttle off down there too. Okay. We're going to turn the throttle off. We're going to rename the throttle instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to name it A, B, C, D, E, F, G because that's the easiest way of doing it. And then we're going to try it again and see if that works. And if that works, we're good. And that's a very important lesson if you do want to try modding. Do not put numbers in your variable names, which I did. And that's why a lot of things haven't been working for this engine. And I only recently realized that that was a problem. Whoopsies. Okay. So we're going to go, instead of throttle 1, we're going to go throttle A, throttle B, throttle C, D, ups. There we go. And there you go. And then we're going to go back and put them into the code again. A and A. So that's the lesson for this stream is don't put numbers into your code. And I should probably go back and change all these other ones to A, B, C, D as well. So I don't get too confused. Or use the word like to, like TWO. And that way you can then use the right code. Because if you don't do that, then you can't actually do any mathematics and stuff in it, which is useful for when you want to do stuff. And that's why I was having some trouble. And I ended up creating this giant mess of code and giant thing was because I couldn't do it that way. But that was because I had numbers in there. Okay, so we go A, B, C, D, and E. All right, we're good. We're gonna go back down here to the audio because it's here where it causes problems. Because it's actually this is not a it's actual what do you call it? It's a text thing. So you could type in throttle plus 43 times 99 or something like this, and it would actually do the math. So that's where the numbers get into problems. So we're gonna do that times 5 like that. Go here. We're gonna paste it here. We're gonna go like this, and we're just gonna quickly do this for all 5 engines, and then we're gonna go back into the game and see if that fixes it. And if it fixes it, well, I probably wasted an hour trying to figure out why this didn't work. At DE, right? Awesome. So again, we're gonna build the mod, check the chat while we're waiting for that to load. And do we have any questions? Shuttle. So somebody wants to know if there's a shuttle mod. So in the booster pack, there is a shuttle booster. It's designed to be put on top of your rocket, and it has a doubler in it because you'd have 2. Everything else, you'd put it side by side. The shuttle, Cedric is actually working on one that looks pretty cool. So when he gets that done, that will be, I think, the shuttle mod. I know that for those who love SpaceX, Prime 252 has an amazing, absolutely amazing Starship pack. Apparently it's out, and he's working on version 2. And what else is going on? Yeah. Somebody's asked me, I think, to make X-37. That may or may not happen. We'll see. I think that might be neat because it apparently launches on an Atlas rocket, and that is what I'm working on tomorrow, the Atlas rocket. So it would probably be cool to add the X-37 as the payload, but I might be getting ahead of myself. All right, so we're back here. Continue. I'm gonna do something just in case it's one of these weird game things where it doesn't actually change any settings or something sometimes. I'm going to go back in parts and just pull the engine out so I get a clean engine. Sometimes that does stuff. And there goes this little tiny yellow sprite. Bye bye. All right. Let's launch this. We now weigh a crazy amount of tonnage, so we're really putting the pulse engine to the test. Let's see how we go. Oh yeah. How high did we get? Let's see if we can even get this out of orbit with 2,000 tons on it. And it is making the sound. We should mention that it is making the sound. So that's good. Oh my goodness. And the fifth one did not. Okay, so we'll have to fix the fifth one. But the rest of them seem to work pretty well. And this got us 7,000 meters. This is designed, by the way, as a space engine, not necessarily as a launch engine. So just be warned. And we press it, and will it explode? Um, the wrong thing exploded. The nuclear fuel tank exploded. What the heck? Huh. Well, that was odd. And apparently it didn't make the sound. Okay, give me a second here. We will fix that. That was odd. It blew up the fuel tank. We're going to revert to launch here. All right, 1 second. I'm going to turn up the volume here from the desktop. All right. Remind me to turn it back down because if I turn an actual engine on, this is going to be loud for you guys. All right, so hopefully you heard that. One more for good luck. And then the fifth one doesn't have any sound, so we'll probably have to fix that. It's probably just the error in the writing. But then when I pressed it, and that was the odd thing, it blew up this core. See, the fuel tank takes the heat. So I don't know why. The heat box is not on the actual engine. It's sitting off. Because we switched this, so the heat box is somewhere up here, but it very clearly is right here. So I'm wondering why that is. Yeah, it's kind of like a UFO. Sort of that's what I came up with. I don't know. It's one of those things where you go and you say, what can I find? So that was actually the ion engine sound. For this guy here, I should probably add a different sound. If you guys have any sound suggestions, let me know, and I will add them in. And apparently here, the thing is rotating on... Oh, I know. I think I know what it is. Maybe. I think it's... The box is right here, because it's where the center of gravity is. Huh. Interesting. Well... Oh, here comes the other rocket. Whee! I should mention it's gonna get loud. Very loud. So let's go back here and we'll just fix that audio. So audio CD, throttle E. Did I misspell it? What is the last one actually called? copy that. Go to audio. I'm going to paste it in there. Okay. That means that over here, throttle E is there. Yeah, throttle E. I don't know why the fifth one doesn't do it. Huh. Another mystery of modding. But this is not working because that's what it's supposed to do. And I'm wondering why. I could make it looping because it'll do that, but then it's supposed to overheat and explode before it gets to that point. Given that's the heat box is in here, flame trigger, it should go. Maybe I have to make it 2. Let's do that. That's not too hard. So flame core overload and then flame core particles. Okay, we're gonna make the particles a part, and we're gonna get rid of, move this component and move this component here. So that's the part now. This here, we're gonna remove the particles from it. Move. And just in case I didn't do this the right way, effects, we're gonna create a particle system. What does it actually end up calling itself? Oh, it is parts. No. Thing, local simulation space is not being used. Let's see if we can fix that. Because this should work. So it says scaling local. Let's see here. Oh, by the way, this is how you make crazy stuff in Spaceflight Simulator. Is with this particle generator. You can make cool stuff like that's what I made the plume with. When I did the F1 originally, that's how I had that black stuff coming out of it. The only downside to it is that it is processor intensive, so you like this kind of thing you can kind of do occasionally in the game, but you can't have it run all the time because people's computer will literally slow down. So let's see here. I got alpha base mission rate over time. Okay, so I set simulation space to world. If I set it to local, does that make it happier? Let's see. It might need to be local. Still don't know why the audio is not working. The Among Us drop down sound? No, we're not using the Among Us drop down sound every time the nuclear pulse engine go. Like we should maybe have it like an explosion or something like that. I don't know. That would probably be better. So So we're gonna do this, and just again checking the chat here. It actually is a UFO sound that we currently have. We can make it whatever. If you have any ideas, let me know in the Discord, and I will see about getting a sound like that. I do need to make sure that the sound rights are clear though, because yeah, always gotta make sure that you have permission. So it's that or I make a sound. If you're wondering how I made my custom engine sound, I basically recorded a rainstorm and then like made a whole bunch of crazy changes. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is gonna get rid of this because this is clearly too much weight for our little engine. And the particles exploded all over the place. Okay. Launch. And they're going. Okay, so that's interesting. That move module doesn't seem to do anything. And also I need to turn on the, shoot, what's it called? So yeah, it's gonna keep exploding every 10 seconds here, but that's okay. All right. So this one here should cause it to explode. Nope. It's causing the arrow shield to. No, arrow shield's fine. It's just cooling down. Huh. Well, that's less exciting than I thought it would be. And it's still doing particle generation. And then every 20 seconds it'll kick out a giant pile of particles. Or is that now stopped? No, it's still going. Yeah. Because that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to do that to indicate that it's done. And then it explodes like a couple seconds later. Hmm. All right. Well, see if we can figure it out. See if we can figure it out. Hmm. Know what it is? I forgot to put the code in to do it. Yep. All right. So we have the code over here, and it says toggle. So if we go here to toggle, we actually have to duplicate this element. So we have the heat overload, and then we have the heat overload particles. Particles. Go. Hmm. But I do not know why it's not going. Because it should take 1 second to do it. That's what this whole thing is supposed to do. It's supposed to just be an ejection system. I know this is working. Why isn't the move module working? Let's do this. It might be a weird thing. Again, it's one of those things where they've done a couple updates in the background, and we're going to call this explode. Doop. And we're going to say 0. And we're going to go here to the system, and we're going to say explode. I don't know why, but it might need it actually have a actual shoot, what do I call this thing? Target time now. Again, they make updates, so sometimes things don't always work the same way. It's odd. I've had a couple things go weird. So, so somebody's asking here, am I going to make a regular nuclear engine? So the answer is that's kind of what the ion engine is currently. um, Honestly, if you need more than 1,000 tons of thrust, let me know. The other engine option I could potentially do is a long burn engine that basically uses very, very small amount of fuel over a long period of time. Uh, the only problem I find with those is that there's a lot of either A, you make it where it's like very cheaty, like the original Ion Drive, or you end up having it where there's a host of other rocket engines that are just they do such a better job. Other than if you want to sit there and run the engine for like half an hour, which is what you'd end up having to do with a long run engine. So it's not exploding this time. So let's see. We're just going to launch it, and the first one seems to work. So yeah, clicking it, and then the rest of them seem to let it go. Interesting. Oh, number 5's working. So whatever we did made it work. Super. All right. And we're back to this point here. I click it, it should explode. Awesome. Switch to it. So the particles exploded, but the heat box didn't. Are we that upset about not having it overheat and explode? Let me know in the chat. I do want to try to fix it, but at the same time, I'm like, how badly do I want to try to fix this? Because it creates a little heat box like right here, and that should be heating a box that's on the outside. I can change that. Let's get a little crazy here. Let's grab this guy in the middle here. We're going to add a component here. We're going to call it heat module. and we're going to say it is heat tolerance is super high, and we're going to use a custom name, and we're going to call it reactor overload. It'll never get hit by like um, heat falling out of the sky or anything like that. So there's no worries about it coming up weird like that. And then we're going to go to overload, which is right here. And we're going to move this box here on top of the actual reactor. All right, so let's give that a shot and see if it works. Again, you have to select the engine, but ideally the idea is the engine explodes about 6-7 seconds after you eject it, primarily so that you don't have some random engine floating through space, deep space, or whatever you're doing. And that's sort of what my thinking was. Also, let me know what you think about the power. Is it too powerful, not powerful enough? Because I can tweak that relatively easily. I do want to keep the 5-second burn rate, though. I feel that is a decent amount of burn without having to, because the idea is it's a pulse engine, right? It goes boom, and then you're done, not boom, and then, 20 minutes later it's done. So, and if the Kessler syndrome, yeah, the Kessler syndrome. I do not have those in here at the moment, do I? No, I do not. Yes, the Kessler syndrome. I'm totally not working on something for that. All right, so we're gonna go into space again. Yeah, the first one works. The rest of them don't. So I have to figure out why. Something weird in the code. Last one. And again, this gets us off planet with, again, as I said, 200 tons. We're into like the 6,000 meters per range. So we press this, it explodes. And if we switch to it, nothing is happening at all. Oh, you know what it is? I think I figured it out. I know what the problem is. So, in the booster cores, I listed heat core overload right here as the heat holder. And I'm almost certain that means that when it's done, it turns it off. So we're going to go none. There we go. Because we don't want it on. And this is a case where things override each other. So this might be all these modules probably are overriding each other, and the default then keeps it off. So let's turn it off and see what happens. Nope. We're going to rebuild it and then check the chat. Yeah, so Kessler syndrome. Hello, the Russian comrade and Pedro Lucas, and who else do we got here? It's on there. Oliver's Gaming Tips and Gameplay. That's a long channel name. But yeah, so the Kessler syndrome, just in case anyone's wondering what that is, basically at a certain point, there's so much stuff up in space that they collide together, they create more particles, a whole bunch of stuff that you end up having it where you have a impassable sheet of debris. And the idea being is all these little pieces are flying at such high speed that you can't fly through it because you're going to get nailed by a whole bunch of different little particles and junk and everything that like falls off a spacecraft or whatever. And that's the concern when you have it with a lot of stuff flying in orbit. Now, if we jump here for a second, this is my little test world, so there's not a lot of stuff in orbit. There isn't too much craziness. One world I had when I was doing all the team challenges on the Spaceflight Simulator forum, I had a lot of stuff in orbit, and I was doing the Hubble challenge, and I zoomed around stuff, and then when I was doing the burn to get out of the to go for the deep space orbit directly, I ended up having it where it had a satellite come by and clipped it. It clipped it, and that was it, boys and girls. It was done. So I don't use that world anymore. I may have even deleted it because, yeah, it just had way too much stuff in low Earth orbit from multiple launchings of stuff to the 35 and between 35 and 45 kilometers of orbit. It was just like it was crazy. So that's what the Kessler one is. So hopefully we've changed it. We're going to do this. It's going to say it explodes. We're going to switch to it. Yes, it is overheating. The reactor is overheating. Yes, it works. We figured it out. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! So the reactor is going to overheat. I'm going to now put some extra particle code in so that while it overheats, it's going to create more and more and more and more particles as time goes on. And eventually it'll just go boom. And that'll be it. So while it's overheating, we're going to switch back to the spacecraft, which has no engine. It just can turn at this point. We can actually press that, and that actually launched that way too fast. And it actually pushed us back into the nuclear core. So I need to turn that down because that's just supposed to lightly detach that cone. But at some point soon, the reactor core is going to explode. And it should go boom. There we go. And all the particles disappear with it as well. Yeah. I think there's a way around that. Almost certain there's a way around that so the particles stay. But yeah, so that worked pretty well. So I want the particles to stay, and there's a way of doing that. I think. I think there's a way of doing that using the effect module. But I also want to have it where I do this. So in order to do that, we're going to take the core particles. We're going to copy that. We're going to create a new prefab, and we're going to call this blue. Create a prefab. There we go, new prefab. And we're going to call this overheat. There we go. And then we're going to go here, and we're going to paste. Oh, it's not going to let us do it. Let's do it this way. Paste. No, it's not going to let us. Okay. Da, 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 da. Oh, I'm sure I could do it. All right, so what we're trying to do is when this blows up, it takes all the particles with it. So what I want to do is take this, put it in here like so. So I have something called overheat, and I'll change the particles here, and then I'll go back to the nuclear reactor. It'll still do these ones, which is fine, but I can actually create a effect here, add component, effect module, and this here should be able to do it. Hang on here, remove this for a second. I need to go double check how to do this, and I do that by going back to the parts and finding the separator, because the separator actually creates these sparks and smoke. So it does this by creating an effect module and a particle module. Okay, effect module, particle module. All right, let's see if that will do it. Because that's how it creates sparks and stuff, and we kind of want that for this engine. So we're gonna see if we can quickly add that, and then I'm going to put this on Discord and on the stream, or not stream, the server, Discord server, and on GitHub as version 0.3. And then as we figure out the audio, we'll put it up to 3.1 or something like that, because I want you guys to have it tonight. You guys have been such great people coming here on the stream and watching this and getting me to 1,000 subscribers. So yay for you guys. And yes, change that for children. So we're going to see if we can do that here. I forgot to check how to activate that. Sorry. Separator. What is the code to do this? Detach, detach. It's all it's doing is detach. Okay, interstage detach. Yeah, it's fine. There. Where's the detach code? Detach code is effect module spawn, effect old transform. Oh, it just says particle model dot spawn. That's what I need. Okay, we could try that and see if it works. Might work. Okay. Yeah, there's two different things. All right. Never know which one works and which one doesn't. Where are we here? Exotics. All right. So we could do that. Um, core particles. Well, let's just fiddle with this right now because we know what we want this to do. Mission here. All right. No, I don't have to do that. Uh-huh. Okay, and then here we're going to say 30, and we're going to cycle it infinite. We don't care because at some point it's going to basically explode infinite, and this is going to be, we'll say 60, and we're going to say this one happens after 5 seconds. This one's going to happen after 10 seconds, and I think we get to 15 seconds before it goes. We're going to go 250. You know, really slow down the computer. There we go. And then to go here, and I'm going to create a box as a parent, and I'm going to say disable PC, and we're going to go up here, and we're just going to quickly make a little thing so that if you are using this on a slower PC, I'll say disable PC E. Toggle that. That is the wrong code. It needs to be Boolean. A Boolean. Okay. We could just call it DCP set. Okay. Save, and the value is on. And then we're going to go down here. We're going to add in a variable drawer. It's here. And this is going to allow us to go and say here, label for slow PC. Slow PC. And then we're going to call this a Boolean. And we're going to go set. And we're going to turn that off. And where are we here? Yeah, it's going to be off because it's normally off because it's, you know, if you have a slow PC. And if you have a slow PC, what we're going to do here is we're going to create a, so we're going to scroll to the bottom here component, and we're going to call it active. And this active module basically, it's right here. We're going to say DC set, and we're going to go invert. Copy this component. So basically what this is saying is when this is activated, deactivate this module, which will turn off the particles. And then we'll go down here to heat overlord particles. We're going, because it gets turned on and off all the time, we're going to add a parent, and we're going to turn the parent off, which will then turn it off. So even if this was turned on, the parent's off, so therefore as a child it's also off. So if you have it where you're on a slow PC, you could still use the engine without potentially doing this. So that's what we're going to do, and I think that's what we're going to get to today. I'm going to hopefully have this work and make some upgrades to it for the exotic pack. I have a bunch of other stuff I want in the exotic pack coming up. I've been working on the utility pack, the engine pack, the booster pack, and the additional launch vehicle pack. So that's also been coming along as well. So with that, just realize that there's a lot of different packs. So it'd be crazy. That's a lot. All right, so we're going to do a final test here, and then I am going to give you guys a quick 3-minute preview of the launch vehicle pack because I think it's installed, and we're going to call it a day. Be sure to hit the like. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. And if you have any ideas, comments, etc., let me know in the comment section or jump on the Discord. I'm on there. Let me know because I have a little mod recommends or requests or stuff. Basically, I really enjoy doing this, and hopefully you guys enjoy doing that. So just showing slow PC, we can turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on. So if you have a slow PC, turn it on. You won't get any particles, but the engine will otherwise work, so it won't really slow you down. Because nobody likes things suddenly going to like 1 frame a second and then sticking there for like 4 minutes. So let's head up into space, and we're just going to demo the rocket in a second as we push the aero shield to the maximum. All right, there we go. And just for fun, we're going to rotate while we're doing this so we can throw it clear. And away it goes. Woohoo! And yeah, it does make a nuclear symbol. That was a little clever trick that I figured out. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. And at some point soon, it's going to go kaboom. And I'm still sitting here at 58 frames per second instead of 60, so not too bad. Not too bad. How are we doing here? Switch to so we can see the thing as it gets to overheating. I should time it a bit, but yeah. So it gets a couple of those out, and then it finally reaches the point where it's going to just go kaboom. Although, if I timed it correctly, it should like kick out like 250 particles, but who knows? Is it going to do it in time? No. Kaboom. And then I have no idea where our rocket is. It's somewhere. This guy? Nope. This guy? Here it is. Switch to. There we go. And he's flying off to wherever he's going. All right, so final bonus points. We're going to go to the build screen, build a new rocket. We're going to take that off, and I'm going to show you. It still says Artemis program, but I have been a bit busy, so we should probably turn on infinite build. Where's the cheats? Infinite build area. The only real cheat I ever use is infinite build area because some of these rockets are very big. So this is the SLS core section. I also have the Delta 4 Common Core booster. I have a bunch of these are interchanges, etc. I then have the Ares upper stage that I've also made. Woo woo. Can I hear I don't know, whatever you do, guys, in the chat. Then we have the Delta Cryogenic second stage that's done. I have the Exploration upper stage. And then I have the, what's this called? The Interim Cryogenic Propulsion System. Now, this guy here, I actually have it where you can toggle on and off between the two modes. So it switches colors. And it actually changes in size too. I may actually split this into two pieces, so the two of them, I don't think it's an extra item is going to be that bad, because it does also change the diameter, but diameter changing gets sticky in here. Then we have the payload stuff, so I'm going to reorganize this so it's probably by rocket, American flag one. So this one here, same idea, but there's no shelf and whatnot, but that one is for the D4 up here. So the D5 and stuff, you'd use this one in the ICPS. This guy here, for 4 meters, you use this. And you could use it on any 4-meter rocket. It is basically a regular interstage. I had the American flag on it so I could tell the difference. But if you're from another country, you can always jump in here and change it to whatever you want it to look like. You want to make a Falcon F1, you couldn't do it. Then we have the Orion spacecraft. So this is currently the capsule and everything I have. I'm going to be making additional capsule ones so that you can get different types of capsules. But the current capsule, it fits in here like that. So you can have it where if I click here, there we go. Oh, come on. There you go. So the capsule fits in here like so that you can use the launch escape system. And then we have some payload bays here. I still need to tweak them a little bit so they could be used on multiple rockets. And I think that's it. So that gets me Ares, Delta, SLS. I think I still need to make the center for Atlas and the Atlas booster core. And if you're wondering about it, yes, all the boosters that you could possibly want are here. And there's different types of boosters for the different launch programs. Those are the ones for SLS. And then you have this one here is for Ares. The Ares one, you can switch the cone on and off, and it has the Ares booster core is recoverable. It's the only one that's technically recoverable. And then you have this one here, the shuttle booster core. Somebody asked. So what you do with this guy here is this little black indicator here. You won't see it in interior mode, but you'll see it in interior mode. You line that up with the bottom of your rocket, right? Your booster, or whatever vessel you want to put on. And then on the second click, it detaches off of that surface, and the booster drops away. And if you have the throttle turned on, it'll actually use retro rockets. So that's kind of cool. And then we have this guy here. This is like the biggest booster. It's insane. And then you got these smaller boosters here. And I think these are for the Atlas program. I may be wrong on that, but they were on my list of boosters to make. So they're the 120 series. So that's sort of what I've been working on the last little bit. So I'm going to get the nuclear pulse engine up as an exotic pack in about 5-10 minutes. And then I will look at making some updates on it over the next little while. And, you know, as anything, I'm always making upgrades to stuff like recently engines. I know I had, there was this engine right here, which has this, the curve goes like this and this, and somebody commented that they hated it and it was awful and horrid and terrible. So I then went and, you know, with full self-esteem, if I find it here, here we go. I added this extra part to the top, I changed the angle, and I moved this around. So, yeah, stuff gets done. And again, if somebody gives me valid, good feedback with useful information, then it does get improved. So, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next stream, probably Friday, because I'm busy on Sunday, and I'm hoping to get that pack out. But I will post it here in advance so you guys know. Until then, thanks for watching.